Hi everybody, we're so excited. You're about to enter phase 3 of our campaigns about plastic reduction and how it affects our waters. We're really excited to be here with CJ Oliveras. I'm Kim Seal, I'm the Executive Director of Grades of Green, and CJ was our very first Chairman of the Board, so lucky to have him. He was also Chairman of the Board at Surfrider. In addition to that, he created and ran Fuel TV. He has probably made more pitches than he wants to remember, but he is a master of that, so we're lucky to have him. He's been in media ever since, so we're excited to ask CJ a few questions and have him help you with your pitch to make it most successful. So, CJ, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's time for the pitch. So when I think about pitching, the first thing I want to do is really understand who my audience is and what motivates them. It's really, really important in tailoring my presentation, whatever form that takes itself, and how deep I might go into various details of the pitch. The second thing is really having a super clear story or message about who you are as an organization or a group, your team, if you will, what you're doing and why it matters. And that why it matters part is really the bulk of what you're trying to articulate. You're going to deliver your core message, whatever your campaign message is, deliver that, and then at the end, you have to be fearless and ask for the sale, so to speak. You have to really ask whoever it is you're pitching, whether it's a person or a group or an organization, to take action.
So never be afraid to make the ask. We got that. Be really clear on your why, it sounds like.
Yes.
And know your audience. So those are awesome. With our teams, they do a lot of research.
Yes.
They collect a lot of data. They really dig deep into whatever they're passionate about. So what's the best way they could use all of that data or the materials in a pitch?
Well, I think there's no one answer to how to best use it. The key, I think, is to be flexible in the presentation of the data or the science. The other piece of that I would say is that by and large you're probably going to be communicating with non-scientists, and you're going to be giving hard data, research data that's really great and a little bit wonky, if you will. So what you want to try to do is make that relatable in the easiest, most simple way possible, and there are a couple ways of doing that. One is graphics. Don't bombard them with a lot of numbers. If you can create clear, concise graphics that articulate the big elements of the data, great. The other thing is to try and relate those things to the real world, not sciencey things, right? So try to find an analogy or a comparison that people by and large can relate to, and try to find things that look alike, look similar in ratio if you're talking about numbers and ratios and percentages and things like that.
So in other words, like our family and our school stopped using water bottles, and we saved so many plastic water bottles that it's the same as an elephant or something like that. Something like that. So a visual effect. Yeah, no, I love that because visuals are so good and people relate to that. So as far as the different mediums you can use, what do you think would be the best, or how would you go about picking the best medium?
Yeah, this kind of goes back to that first point at the beginning that I said about knowing who your audience is and what motivates them. And when you're pitching a person, it could be a conversation and having a really strong narrative that you can just talk to them about. If you're pitching a larger group, organization, company, or policymakers, you definitely have a more robust presentation. When you think about it beyond just being a single person, and if you're trying to affect change on a larger scale, you don't want to think in terms of a single medium. You want to really think about how your message and your campaign can translate across different media.
So once again, it's your audience. It
Yeah.
comes back to know your audience. But I love the whole concept that the pitch lives on.
Yeah.
So starting and thinking bigger at the beginning, like how you're going to use the pitch, if you're going to put it on social media after. So I like that concept of, you know, taking the pitch and really going forward. It's not just a one pitch situation. So I think that's.
Yeah, I think you're going to make this pitch a lot of times. If at the end of the day, this is really it's a mission, not a moment.
Oh,
It's
I
a
love
journey,
that.
right?
Absolutely. So the pitch is a lot more than sitting in front of a camera or writing a letter. There's a lot of steps.
Yeah.
And with our teams, there's lots of people involved in the team, which is great. But how do they stay on task? What do you have, any ideas on how they can make sure
Right.
stay focused?
Yeah, it's the same whether you're building a campaign for Grades of Green or you're running a business or running a team or what have you. It really starts with making sure everybody understands what you're doing, what your mission is, and the tactical objectives or how you're going to do it. What are the means by which you're going to accomplish this big thing. And then when you start to look around the room and say, okay, who's going to do what, you kind of have to have a really honest and transparent discussion about each individual's strengths and their weaknesses, for that matter. And it's not to tear people down, it's really to say, hey, you're really good at this thing or these two things, that's what you should do. You shouldn't waste time with things that are not your strength. And to the extent that you can divide up the roles and responsibilities of the project, once you've got people doing the right thing, you've got clear roles and responsibilities, you've got an accountability system set up, then it's really about getting out and doing it. The kind of converse to that is that we have to celebrate and recognize success. When we have it, we want to pat each other on the back, we want to celebrate within ourselves and say, hey, we're doing really good stuff here. And this is a great moment. Let's take a little second to celebrate it and then move on to the next thing and keep that, build on that and use that as a form of momentum on future success.
Yeah, that's awesome. These teams working together can do so much as a team, and love to hear that they celebrate their successes. That would be. All right, CJ, thank you so much. But do you have any last parting words?
Sure. I know it's a lot to take in. However, one thing, probably the most important thing, is share your passion. Don't be afraid to share your passion. Let that energy shine through, whether it's one person or a company. Don't be afraid to share that true, deep passion that you have for creating change in the world.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. We're so excited you were here, and hopefully we'll get you to maybe look at some of these pitches and help us
Sure.
pick the best pitch.
Absolutely.
The eco leaders do get to get eco grants, and hopefully those grants can help them put their passion into action.
Awesome.
So, really appreciate it.